Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. I've had this gnawing at me for quite some time, so I decided I've got a little bit of time and I'm going to talk about it. I have seen so many people talking about silver. Not silver coins, but silver in general. And it's really driving me nuts. 2 years ago, silver was $18 an ounce, $14 an ounce, something like that, somewhere between $14 and $18 an ounce. And you know what everybody said? They said to buy silver. 2020 rolled around. Beginning of 2020, the world was normal. They said buy silver. Then COVID happened, and stocks tumbled. The price of silver actually tumbled, and everybody said buy silver. Silver's going to go $100 an ounce, $200 an ounce, buy silver. And then silver started to go up. In fact, it went up rather quickly, and by summer, silver was $25, $26, $27 an ounce. And what did they say then? In summer, buy silver. Then, close to the end of the year in December, silver was hovering at 27, 28, and somebody said, oh, there's going to be a huge short buy or something. They were talking about shorts. They were talking about the GameStop thing, and they're going to now do that with silver. So buy silver. And nothing happened. In fact, here we are now, 5 months from that event, and silver is still sitting at 26, 27, 25. Pick your day of the week. It's going to be one of those numbers. And you know what they're saying? They're saying buy silver. That's what they're saying. So throughout this entire time, when it was cheap, when it was really cheap, when it was really expensive, and currently, they're still telling you to buy silver. And I don't get it. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. I am not completely innocent of this because I have some silver. These are my Morgan silver dollars. You know me, I collect currency, so for me to have any coins, that's pretty cool. I even have a Carson City there, 1890 Carson City. I don't know what these are worth. I know Carson Cities are worth a little more, but as far as the rest of these, don't know. I just thought it's a neat book. I'll put them in there. I got the 91 to 21 book as well. Not a bunch of them in here, but enough. Even if these are $30 a piece, that's quite a bit that those are. Now, these are Morgan silver dollars. They're silver dollars. I don't have them because they're silver. I have them because they are Morgans. So that's not stacking silver. This is being a numismatist and collecting coins for the value of the coin and the enjoyment of collecting the coins. That's what this is about, okay? When you talk about coins in books, specific coins, Morgans versus peace dollars versus trade dollars, whatever. This is about coin collecting, not stacking silver, okay? Now, if you are stacking silver, you probably have, this here's a 5-ounce bar. I sold just about all of my 10-ounce bars, all of my 5-ounce bars, most of my 1-ounce bars. I sold all of that stuff, and basically the remaining stuff, the stuff that I have for this video, is stuff that, oh, look, I found this silver bar in this drawer. Oh, look, I found this tube over here. But anything that I had together, I dumped. And I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, if you're stacking silver, this is a silver bar. This one's 5 ounces. If you're stacking silver, you may have one of these. This I found in the back of the cupboard. This is 21-ounce silver rounds. So yeah, that was a fun discovery. Completely forgot that I bought it. Completely forgot where it was, and cleaned out a cupboard. I'm like, oh, what's in there? So yeah, that's a silver bar, silver rounds. There are things like, here's a roll of dimes, silver dimes. Now these I don't keep because they're silver. I keep because I don't know a whole lot about silver dimes, silver quarters, silver halves. So in case there are errors, varieties, stuff like that, that's why I collect these. I think these are neat from, once again, a numismatist point of value. I also know that they have a silver value to them, and I was smart enough to buy these when silver was cheap. But once again, we'll get into that later. So you've got junk silver, constitutional silver. Great for stacking because, well, that's the beauty. With constitutional silver, there is a very strict formula that they use. It involves the price of silver times the weight of the standard coin times face value. It's a standard thing that I don't know the exact numbers on because I'm a currency guy, but if you go into any coin shop, and most of you probably know the exact formula that's used. So that's the beauty of this, and the fact that you're talking small denominations. I can break up these dimes. Let's say silver was $100 an ounce. Well, roughly 10 of these dimes would mean that would be almost an ounce, so you're talking roughly $10 a piece for 10 dimes. It doesn't work exactly that way, but having denominations of silver this small makes it much more spendable. That's why if I was to be stacking silver, I'd be stacking junk silver. Because this is 5 ounces, and if silver did go to the fictional $100 an ounce that everybody talks about, this would now be worth $500, which is going to be a little tough to take to the grocery store. Or all these 1 ounce rounds. Once again, at $100 per, I can't really go to McDonald's and give them a $100 silver coin and pay for that. So yeah, not going to work that way. That's why the constitutional stuff is a little bit better. Now, the other thing that always gets me with silver is premiums. When you talk about constitutional silver, there is a premium. It's very low. It may be as little as 50 cents to $1 per ounce. Okay, so the premiums on constitutional are hardly anything at all. The other thing about constitutional is when you buy constitutional silver, you always have the chance of finding something that's actually worth some money. If you know about key dates, if you know about errors, if you know about different mint marks, you can go through constitutional silver and find stuff that's actually pretty good. You can have somebody who put away a bunch of 64 quarters just because they knew they were silver, have that person dump them for silver value, and you find out that, well, they were silver proofs. Now they're worth something. So with constitutional, you always have that ability to find those kind of treasures. So that's just yet another reason why I like buying constitutional. I'm still buying silver if I was intent on stacking silver, but I also have the chance of finding something neat. So let's go to the next step up. If you are stacking silver and you have silver rounds, silver rounds will have a small premium, maybe $1, maybe $2 per ounce. But when you're talking about the price of silver going from $25 an ounce all the way up to $100 an ounce, a $1 an ounce premium is no big deal. That doesn't really change the effect of anything as far as that goes. So 1 ounce silver rounds, great for stacking. Should you be buying them now? No, you should be selling now. I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, there are people out there that say, don't buy 1 ounce rounds, don't buy bars. Here's a 5 ounce silver bar. Bars also will have a slight premium, very slight $1, maybe $2 an ounce on them. People will say, oh, it's so hard to sell silver bars. It's so hard to sell generic silver rounds. Most dealers don't want silver. And anybody that tells you that is probably lying because I would have no problem whatsoever going to my LCS right now and handing him all of this silver. And actually, when I sold my silver, I went to my silver dealer and I put this in front of him like that. And I said, there's 20 ounces in there. Not only did he not look to see what kind of rounds they were, he didn't even count them. He just said, yep, that's 20. And that was it. So if anyone's trying to tell you that you are not going to be able to sell your silver rounds or your silver bars, that is not true. Any reputable dealer will take silver no matter the condition. So with these having such minor premiums, the premiums on these will be slightly more than the premiums that you see on constitutional. If you are stacking silver, my question then is, why do I see people calling themselves silver stackers stacking these? This blows my mind. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm probably one of the few that didn't. This is an ASE. This is called an American Silver Eagle. Now, an American Silver Eagle is 1 ounce of silver. 1 fine ounce silver, $1. Anybody spending these for $1 is a moron. Thank you if you are spending these, because that means that the rest of us can find them when we go to the bank. But an American Silver Eagle, even though it's designated as $1, it is the mint's way of putting out 1 ounce silver rounds with the United States stamped on it. This is official coinage. And if you are a silver stacker, it's probably the worst possible thing you can buy. Now, I keep saying stacker, and I'm going to emphasize stacker, because if you are a numismatist, if you are collecting these, the way that people collect these, okay, then American Silver Eagles are really cool. Okay, if you are getting American Silver Eagles and you're having them graded and you are putting them in cases, or you're buying graded ASEs, I'm not talking about you. Okay, you are a numismatist. You are going on the value of the coin from a numismatist value perspective. You are not doing it on a silver perspective. Let me put that a different way. I'm talking about silver. If I was talking about copper, and you said you think copper prices were going to go up, and immediately went out and bought a bunch of 1909 VDBs, 1909 SVDBs that were graded because you thought the price of copper was going to go up. All right, does that make sense? No. Buying 1909 SVDB graded coins because you think copper is going to go up is the same thing as buying ASEs thinking the price of silver is going to go up. Okay? Just as an example, right now the price of silver is $26, $27, $25, somewhere around there, $25, $26, $27 an ounce. This is 1 ounce of silver. So how much does this cost? This generic ASE, what's it cost? Any guesses? $40. That's right, $40. The premium on this is roughly $14. That's insane. That is crazy. Okay, let's put this in perspective. Let's say you had $1,000 to spend. If you spent $1,000 on ASEs because you wanted to invest in silver, you would get approximately 25 of these. Okay, that's ridiculous. 25 ASEs. Spending that kind of money. Now, let's say that would be 25 ounces, okay? Now, let's say you just bought generic silver rounds, okay? If you bought a generic silver round like these, if you spent $1,000 on these, you would have, what would that be? Almost 50. So you would have considerably more. I'm just winging these numbers off the top of my head. You can do the math yourself. Let's see, $1,000. If these are $27 a piece, 10 of them would be $270. 30 of them would be $700-800. So you're talking 40. You'd have 40 ounces of silver if you went this way, versus having 25 ounces of silver this way. Same $1,000. So do you want 25 ounces or 40 ounces for the same $1,000? Well, I'll take the 40 ounces for the same $1,000, because now you are hoping that the premium stays at the same level. Now, these weren't always at a premium that was nearly 50% the price of the coin. So what happens if that premium drops? Well, now you're going to need to make up that premium value in the value of the metal itself. So once again, if the price was to go to $100 an ounce, you would have 25 of these worth $2,500, where I would have 40 of these worth $4,000. Okay, now you add in your 25 premiums, even if those are $10 a piece, that still only gets you another $250. I'm still $1,000 ahead of you buying these. So, like I said, if you are buying ASEs for the numismatist value, great. If you're buying them graded, if you're buying them for the year, for the mint marks, for the errors, if you are buying them that way, that's the reason to buy these. If you are buying these because they are silver and you think the price of silver is going to go up, Well, somebody fed you a load of crap. And I'm sorry to tell you that, but I wish somebody would have been honest with me like I'm being honest with you guys. Once again, I am not a silver dealer. I don't have silver to sell, so I don't really care. I'm not here to tout silver. Well, so now that I've talked about that, oh, and the other thing that I wanted to bring up was people putting away silver for emergencies. Yeah, prepping with silver, I guess. Well, you can look at the extreme. One of the shows that I watched all the time was The Walking Dead, and they don't have money. In that post-apocalyptic world, nobody cares about currency, nobody cares about gold or silver. They care about bullets. So if you are saving silver for when the world ends, take your silver, buy bullets. That's going to be what's worth something if the world was ever to end. Yeah. But let's talk about the actual price of silver and what happened over the last year. And I'll be fairly quick about this because I'm not an expert. I am simply following the facts. I put this together. Isn't this neat? You can see I've got 10, 14, 18, 22, 26, $30, and I've got the year 2014, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's 21. All right. Well, I checked out everything, and this is what the price of silver has done. Starting in 2014, the price of silver was around $18, and that $18 through 2019 simply basically did this. It went back and forth between $18 and $14 until you get to about 2019. Okay, 2019, actually even till when you get to 2020. So, yeah, it actually bounced probably a little more dramatically. There was a big time when it was actually under $14 an ounce. And actually, at one point, it was well below $14 an ounce until you get to about 2020. Now, once you hit 2020, that's when the pandemic set in. And the first thing that happened was when businesses shut down, the stock market tumbled. When the stock market tumbled, people who were betting that the market was going to go south and hoping that they were wrong, those people are called shorting the market. They make money when when the market goes the other direction. But they were betting that everything was going to go south, and they were right. And because of that, they actually had to fill all of the orders that they were making. I'm not a stock expert or anything else like that, but what ended up happening is when the market dropped, they had to cover a bunch of I'm just going to call them bets, because the stock market is simply legal gambling, and if you think anything different, you're wrong. But anyway, they had to cover their bets. So what they had to do was they had to take holdings in specific commodities, such as gold and silver, and cash those out to cover their other bets. So now you have all of these people who are quite literally playing the market, having now to flood their paper silver into the market. And when they flooded the paper silver into the market, what happened was, even though the stock market tanked, all of this paper silver came out, which dropped the price of silver almost to $10 an ounce. So, if you were smart, when people were saying all this time, buy silver, buy silver, buy silver, buy silver, buy silver, if you were smart, you would have been stocking up on silver as soon as this pandemic hit. And that's what I did. I bought as much silver as I could. And when it dropped to almost $10 an ounce, that's when I bought up as much physical silver as I could, and then sat back. Now, once that process ended, silver jumped from almost $10 an ounce all the way up to $26 an ounce by the end of 2021. What is the reason for that move? The reason for that move was the coronavirus, the pandemic, the fact that everybody was shut down, the fact that people were in panic mode. Well, since then, people have tried to play games with the market. I say that specifically talking about GameStop. GameStop, everybody saw, went from $8 to 200 and something dollars a share. And then they tried to do that with silver. And when people heard that that was going to happen with silver, people started buying up silver. And the price of silver did go up to almost 30. And when it got to almost 30, that's when everybody started saying, oh, it's going to hit 200. It's not going to hit 100. It's going to blow through 200. And these people were once again, at this point, telling you to buy silver. Never in this entire run did anybody ever say sell silver. They said buy, 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 buy. All year long they said buy, 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 buy. And look to see how many people today are telling you to buy silver. Just go through YouTube, go through anybody that is, silver in their name, and the Daily Silver Report and all this other crap, and look how many of them are telling you to buy silver today. Well, once again, this gigantic line, what was the cause of this gigantic line? Coronavirus. Well, people are getting vaccinated. What's going to happen when enough people get vaccinated? Businesses are going to start opening. When businesses start opening, the economy is going to start booming. The economy is already booming. But when that happens, then the reason for this line that looks like that, the reason that this went from here to here, no longer exists. And if that reason is gone, what do you think is going to happen to the price of silver? Do you think it's going to continue on this straight up trend? No. This is where it's been for the last how many years? That means that as soon as everybody is heading back to work, this is going to go right back to where it was. That's what's going to happen. We've watched people try to manipulate this market, and they've failed. They've managed to move the price of silver $1 or $2, maybe $3 if it went down to 24 and then back up to 27, or maybe from 25 to 28. Whatever. There's these little teeny weeny little bumps up and down. But don't you think the people who have been sitting on silver stockpiles are going to have a better hold on what's going on here? They're not going to let something like this happen again. This line, which only represents from $11 to $30, that line was from a global pandemic, which we are still in. And they want to tell you that this line is supposed to be 3 times as tall, because this only goes to 30. And they're trying to tell you it's going to go to 100, or it's going to go to 200. Well, if a global pandemic moved it this much, how much worse is it going to have to be for it to go to $100 an ounce? So once again, when you see people who have constantly said, buy silver when it's at this peak, buy silver when it's at this peak, and you see people today here saying, buy silver, you better start questioning them. You better be buying silver for the right reasons. Me, I bought it when it was here, because that's when I knew something big was going to happen. I knew this virus was going to be big. And I knew that when the stock market starts falling and the paper silver starts crashing, that's the time to scoop up silver. I dumped my silver, and it did go up a few dollars more from when I dumped it. But you know something? I'm thousands ahead right now. Which direction do I think it's going to go? That way. Which means I can take these thousands here and buy it here and end up with twice the amount of silver I had in the first place. And it doesn't have to be this week or this month or even this summer or this fall. This was the trajectory of silver for the last, I don't know how many years, and it took an event like a global pandemic for that to happen. So when the global pandemic is over, so will the silver run. Anybody that has anything other to say about that is probably sitting on a bunch of silver they bought yesterday at $27 an ounce and are just hoping that I'm wrong. If you're waiting for a rainy day to sell your silver, it's raining. It's been raining. It's been raining since December. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm telling you what I did. I'm also telling you that if you have someone that you listen to who has never told you ever to sell silver, to sell their product, if they just said buy, 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 and they have never said this is a good time to sell some of your silver, then you better start questioning that person's motivation. I really hate to see people losing out on a ton of money. I really hate to see silver at its highest price that it's been in many years, and other people telling you to take your hard-earned money and buy silver at $30 an ounce. Oh, I'm sorry. Where's my ASE? Buy silver at $27 an ounce for $40 an ounce. Pay $40 for this $25 worth of silver because it's going to be worth $100 in 3 months. No, people that are telling you that are apparently sitting on a ton of silver, and they need people to buy it. Anyway, that's my thoughts on silver. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on this one. But like I said, I am not a silver stacker, so to speak. I've got some silver. You've seen most of it right there. I dumped most of mine because I wanted a profit. Yeah, if you were stacking silver for a major pandemic event, if you were stacking silver for some major crisis, that was called 2020. You should have sold it. I don't know what else to tell you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be real interested in hearing all the hate I get in the comments, but what can I say? People are still spending ridiculous amounts of money on ridiculous amounts of silver. Like I said, $40 for 1 ounce of silver. And you'll see people buying monster boxes of this stuff. Yeah, at 200 coins per at that premium. They're just crazy. I don't know what else to say. Stack generic silver if you're going to stack anything. All right, guys. That's what I got for you this week. I will enjoy the hate. Have a good one. I'll see you next week.